Ladies and gentlemen, you may go live.
I would like to call to order the Planning Commission meeting of Thursday, May 6th. If we can start with roll call, please.
Chair Dennison. Vice Chair Pevsner. 1 second. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, because I thought I was still on mute. So Commissioner Dennison, Vice Chair Pevsner, Commissioners Dallas, Hutt,
Here.
and Spears.
There.
Present.
Great. I will accept. Do we need to change the agenda or just will that be a continuation when we get to that?
We'll just continue it. So we can open it up with the first item once we get to that.
All right, so then I would solicit a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Also move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next up, we have approval of the minutes of the April 1st, 2021 Planning Commission. Are there any edits to the minutes as proposed? Hearing none, I will ask for a motion to approve as presented.
Also move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Next up, we have the City Council Liaison Report.
Good evening, commissioners. So the big thing from the City Council is that I'd like to share with you guys is your item number 1 on the agenda. Some of you may know this, but I was involved in the RFP for the solar project. It's been a lot of time talking with staff and with former council members, Harabedian and Capocha on it. And I'm excited to see it come before us. I think this is a real positive for the city. And when this really came about as former mayor's Harabedian's leadership. And so I think it's excited to see it. It started out as just a solar project and ended up becoming a solar plus storage project. So that's all I have to say for tonight.
Great, thank you. And with that excitement, I believe that we need to have a continuation of the first item on the agenda.
Actually, we need to open up for community input.
Sorry. Thank you. I jumped ahead. Community input. If we can have the contact information, please. At this time, any person may address the Planning Commission concerning an item that is not on the agenda. The Commission welcomes your attendance and participation. When addressing the Commission, please begin by providing your name and address for the record. Please keep comments to no more than 5 minutes to assure an orderly and timely meeting. Copies of the agenda are available for your convenience on the city's website. State legislation, Government Code Section 54954.2 limits the Commission's ability to take action on specific requests. Government Code Section 54954.2 limits the placement of items on the agenda for action 72 hours prior to meetings, except for specific findings. No action or discussion may be undertaken by the Planning Commission on any item if not posted on the agenda, except that commissioners or staff may briefly respond to statements made or questions posed by the public, or a commissioner or staff liaison may ask a question for clarification or make a brief report on his or her own activities. A commissioner or the commission itself may provide a reference to staff to report back to the commission at a subsequent meeting concerning any matter, or may direct staff to place a matter of business on a future agenda. If you would like to make any comments now, You can call in at the phone number 669-900-9128. Enter the meeting ID 851-8278-0306 with the convenient password of 091024. If you are watching TV on our live stream, please mute your TV or computer speakers to avoid feedback. If you dialed in, *9 is the appropriate function, or from your computer, raise your hand. Do we have any callers at this time?
This time you do not have any callers.
We'll give callers another minute or so to dial in. Again, at this time, any person may address the Planning Commission concerning an item that is not on the agenda. The Commission welcomes your attendance and participation. When addressing the Commission, please begin by providing your name and address for the record. Please keep comments to no more than 5 minutes to assure an orderly and timely meeting. Copies of the agenda are available for your convenience on the city's website. State legislation limits the Commission's ability to take action on specific requests. Government code limits the placement of items on the agenda for action 72 hours prior to meetings, except for specific findings. No action or discussion may be undertaken by the Planning Commission on any item if not posted on the agenda, except that commissioners or staff may briefly respond to statements made or questions posed by the public, or a commissioner or staff liaison may ask a question for clarification or make a brief report of his or her own activities. Do we have any callers at this time?
You do not have any callers at this time.
Thank you. We will now move on to the first of our public hearings. Number 1 on the agenda is a conditional use permit 21-01, CUP 21-01, solar photovoltaic project located in the city yards.
Thank you, Chair Dennison. Staff is going to be requesting that we continue the public hearing to a date certain. The purpose of the continuance is to comply with the California Code of Regulations, which requires the city clerk to post a notice of the project for 20 days to allow agencies and the public adequate time to review the mitigated negative declaration. So staff is recommending that the Planning Commission continue the public hearing to May 20th, 2021.
Is there a motion to continue to a date certain conditional use permit 21-01?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Next on the agenda is variance 21-02 and modification to design review permit 19-01. Does staff have a presentation?
Staff has a presentation for this hearing, and this will be delivered by Senior Planner Claire Lynn. And she does have a PowerPoint presentation, so she will be loading that up for you.
Good evening, chairs and commissioners. Let me share my screen. So this evening, Planning Commission will be reviewing a variance and a modification to design review permit 1901 for the property located at 535 North Hermosa Avenue. The properties is located at the west side of North Hermosa Avenue, which is north of Carter in the single family residential zone. The site indicated in red is approximately 0.32 acre lot, bounded by single family residents in the neighborhood. This is where the largest flowering wisteria vine is located. The vine straddles across this property and the property to the south. Applicant is requesting for a variance to legalize the existing 4,048 square foot single family residence that exceeded the allowable gross floor area, and also to reconcile the as-built gross floor area that was misrepresented by his designer before the Planning Commission back on March 7th, 2019. Pursuant to the code, every application for a zone variance should be set for a public hearing before the Planning Commission. And this project qualifies for a categorical exemption under California Environmental Quality Act, as it involves the addition and alterations to a single-family residence. This is the project data, and the project scope remained unchanged as what was presented before the Planning Commission back in 2019. All meets code or have previously received entitlement except for the gross floor area that is exceeded what is code allowed. Currently, the assessor's record is showing 2,868 square feet. The proposed as-built is 4,048 square feet. And what is allowed is 3,898 square feet. Here is the as-built site plan of the property. You can see it on the lower left-hand corner. That is the as-built before the project, and the approved project now where it shows currently as-built. It's different. The next slide will show you the scope of project that was approved by the Planning Commission. And the blue area are showing the project that was approved, and the cross-hatch area is the indicating the lower level. Here is the as-built east elevation, is the street-facing elevation, and the finished construction of the front entrance. This is the south elevation, where it shows the finished construction of the family room gallery area, and where it used to be the screen patio area. This is the as-built for the north elevation. You can see the infill. This is where the bathroom next to the dining room. So the issue occurred during the construction phase. The applicant has discovered that there were many discrepancies made by the designer on the calculations of the gross floor area. The approved project scope by the Planning Commission in 2019 has remained unchanged, which consists of the addition of 199 square feet that included the 71 square foot bathroom and the enclosure of the wooden patio balcony area that with a net gain of 128 square feet. The actual gross floor area of the as-built should have been 4,048 square feet instead of the 3,896 square feet. As a result, the Planning Commission had made a decision based on inaccurate information of the gross floor area. The retabulated gross floor area has exceeded the allowable gross floor area by 150 square feet, and therefore requires a zone variance. The applicant seeks to rectify the error and legalize the existing 4,048 square foot single family residence and reconcile the as-built gross floor area. Variance finding has to be made in order to approve the project. So this is the summary of all the findings. The authorized variance will not constitute a grant of special privilege inconsistent with the limitation upon other properties in the vicinity and zone in which such property is situated. The applicant had no willful intent to cause the Planning Commission to approve a project based on inaccurate as-built plans. The applicant seeks to rectify the mistake by his designer by applying for the variance to exceed the allowable gross floor area permitted by code. The authorized variance will comply to the use and activity of the zone regulation. The property will continue to be used as a single-family residence as other properties in the residential neighborhood. The historic wisteria vine is a special circumstance and not generally applied to other properties in the same zone. Granting of the zone variance is necessary in order to facilitate a reasonable use of the already built 4,048 square foot single-family residence. Without the approval of the variance, the applicant will be required to remove the areas of recent additions and unpermitted areas of the existing building. The variance will be consistent with the objective of the general plan and the zoning ordinances, as it will remain as a single-family use. The general plan encourages the preservation of culturally and historically significant landmark in the city, continuation of the existing pattern of the residential housing development, and refurbishment and adaptive reuse of existing housing stock. So alternative before Planning Commission this evening is to approve the application for variance 21-02 and modification to the design review permit 1901 pursuant to the resolution 2107, or approve the project with modification, or deny the request by identifying the findings that the Planning Commission feels cannot be made and the basis for rejecting those findings, or continue the project and provide directions to the applicant and staff. That concludes my presentation. And the applicant, property owner and the applicant is here as well. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Would the applicant like to make a presentation?
Sorry about that, I was muted. Hi, my name is Anthony Held at 535 North Hermosa Avenue, Sierra Madre. Good evening to the Planning Commission. Nice to see some similar faces. I don't, I presented, what was requested of me with the application process that I went through with Claire and the team and the Planning Commission or in her department. I'm happy to answer any questions, but I didn't have anything specifically to prepare to present.
That's fine. That's great. We like to give the option for those that have prepared something. So thank you. Does the Planning Commission have any questions for staff? All right, I just want to make sure that I understand this clearly.
Yes.
Not from you, Anthony, actually. From
Okay.
staff.
Okay.
From staff, from Planner Lynn. Nothing has changed on the house except the square footage count that was inaccurate the first time we saw it.
Chair, that's correct.
This is the equivalent of a Scrivener's error on the square footage that happened to trigger an additional level of permit. Is that right?
That's correct.
All right, thank you.
Can I just follow up on that question?
Yes.
So what was built is exactly what we saw before. It's just a calculation issue, right? It's not like the thing actually grew.
Correct.
Okay, that's what I thought. Thanks.
That's what I wanted to double check too. Thank you. If the commission has no other questions for staff or the applicant, then I guess we will let the public comment on this particular item. So at this time,
Excuse me, Chair Dennison. I'm sorry, we did receive one email public comment, and the public comment has been distributed to all the planning commissioners.
great, thank you. So at this time, any person may address the planning commission concerning this specific item on the agenda. The commission welcomes your attendance and participation. When addressing the commission, please begin by providing your name and address for the record. Please keep comments to no more than 5 minutes to assure an orderly and timely meeting. We will give the public some time to go ahead and dial in. The phone number again is 669-900-9128. Meeting ID 851-8278-0306 with the convenient password of 091024. If you are waiting or watching on TV or on our live stream, please mute your TV or computer speakers to avoid feedback. If you dialed in, *9 is the function to use, or from your computer, raise your hand. Do we have any callers so far?
You do not have any callers so far.
All right, we will give people time to dial in if they so desire. At this time, we're giving the public time to dial in and make comment about variance 21-02 and modification to design review permit 19-01 for 535 North Hermosa Avenue. The phone number is 669-900-9128. That's meeting ID 851-8278-0306 with the convenient password 091024. Do we have any callers?
You do not have any callers at this time.
All right. If somebody calls in the next minute or so, please let us know and we will revert to public comment. In the meantime, why don't we bring this to the commission? Are there any comments anybody would like to make?
My impression is this is over 150 square feet that was inaccurately accounted for by a previous contractor, and the applicant is disclosing what the current state of affairs is. And it just so happens that it fell over a dividing line. So, you know, we approved this same project, what, a year and a half ago or so. It was built the way we approved it. So, I mean, I see no problem why we can't just, you know, reapprove it as built.
Yeah, I concur with Bob. I think one of the things to keep in mind, and we talked about the size of this project when we approved it, and the way the square footage sat on the site, and also how our measurement, our ways of calculating square footage don't really work so well, because this site is tiered down a slope and really fits in and is not obtrusive. And I think the fundamental question is, had we known this information then that we know now, would we have voted differently? And I, for one, would have not. I still would have approved the project. I think it's a fine project. So I have no problems approving this, and I think all the findings can be met.
Commissioner Dallas, Commissioner Pevsner, any comments?
I'm fine with it.
Commissioner Pevsner? You're still on mute, sir.
You're on mute, Bill.
Yeah, no, I know. You know, technical difficulty. Mouse pad on my kid's Chromebook. Yeah, I think I concur. I'm good with it.
Yep, I also concur. I think that had we had this condition previously, I would have voted the same way again. So I'll look for a motion to approve variance 21-02 and modification to design review permit 19-01.
So moved.
Sounds like Commissioner Spears made the motion and Commissioner Hutt seconded. So all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Planning Commission reports. Do any of the commissioners have anything they'd like to report at this time?
I don't have a report, but I have a question, and maybe Robert Parkhurst can bring this back to the city council. I have a question. Now that we're moving into the yellow tier for COVID, when are we going to be able to meet in person? And is that a city's decision? Or are we going by the county health department, or who's making that decision for us?
Chair Dennison, if I may.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So my understanding, Commissioner Pevsner, is that the city is following the county's guidance, which is following the state's guidance. They don't always agree. That for the city council, the time frame they're looking at for bringing meetings indoors is, I want to say it's June or July. I can't remember which one it is, and staff may be able to correct me if they know, if they remember better than I do. But they're waiting a little bit longer until to make sure we stay in the yellow tier. So that's my knowledge on it.
Great. Thank you.
Okay.
Councilmember Parkhurst, I believe council was suggesting, at least for city council meetings, going live in June. So I would assume that the planning commission meetings and other board and commission meetings would follow suit.
Okay, sounds good.
Director Gonzalez, in the event that we are to start seeing anything to do with the Madre de la Rosa project before we're allowed to meet indoors with the public, I would highly recommend we try to leverage outdoor meetings. I think that matter is too important to not be done where we allow the community access in person as well as online.
I would agree.
And I have a request for the council member that the city's website shows that the retreat development is going to come before this commission at least 3 times, and the commission is down to 5 people. And I'm sure that the council is asking that the commission, do its job responsibly and with as much experience as possible. But I have heard nothing that they are going to restore the planning commission back up to 7, or if anyone is even being considered to replace any commissioners that are moving out. So
Commissioner Spears, it is my understanding that we will be bringing that back before council. I am looking right now at the May 11th agenda, and it is not on that agenda, but it has been part of discussions per what we had agreed, or per what council had agreed at that time to bring it back in the May timeframe. So that would likely mean that it's on the agenda for the May 25th meeting. I would be interested, per your comment, to get feedback back on your feelings about changing the number of commissioners on the planning commission.
Well,
I don't know if we can.
Commission to do some
Oh.
work with the public, so.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Any other commission reports?
Committee.
Director Gonzalez, is there a timeline in which builders are supposed to pull down their signs about upcoming meetings?
It should come down. The notice board should come down almost immediately after the meeting. So I would say that following week. I know we've had some issues in the past with Stonegate and some of the signs staying up there for quite some time, since those are vacant lots.
Yeah, the sign is still at Carter from a, I think, April of 2020 meeting. So I just want to make sure that when people see them, that they know.
We're not misled, right?
I don't want them to become immune to seeing them. So I think that's the sum of planning commission reports. Turn it over to the planning and community preservation staff reports.
So, of course, we're going to have the continued project on May 20th, which is the solar photovoltaic project at the city yards. We are also going to be holding a discussion item regarding updating our land use map and zoning map to achieve consistency with the general plan. We continue to find that there's a number of inconsistencies. We brought some of these items to the commission in the past regarding designation of open space. So I would anticipate that this is going to take some time. We're breaking the city, or dividing the city up into 4 quadrants to be able to go through all the different changes that are following suit based on the general plan that was adopted by council in 2015. So we're continuing that effort. I would imagine we're going to spend at least 3 meetings and then formally a public hearing to get that project approved. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Anything else for the good of the order? Hearing none, I will adjourn this meeting to our next regular meeting. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.